Hello everyone, welcome back to another reading, another video. In today's video, we're going to take a look into 4 piles as you see in front of you. And as what the title said, this is going to be the high value people sees in you. We'll never know about the people's perception and why certain things the way they are, and in here we're gonna get to know about it. You're allowed to see more than one pile, and the first pile we have is the Emperor, the second one the 10 of Pentacles, the third one the King of Pentacles, and the last but not least the Star card. Let's jump right into it and see you in your piles. Starting off with the Emperor, you pile number 1. That's what we have, Emperor, and we also have the initiation, rite of passage, crossing the threshold, and we have inner temple, devotion, tune into the portal of your heart. These are the consequences, people. Someone like you are the type of people. This collective is you're very head-on. What can I say? You're someone who stick on their word, so definitely someone that will kept their word. You're very trusted, and there's something about you that feels very self-made as well, and I think like there's nothing that's more high value than that. You're very like, you could be educational, or you could be like having a certain achievement that if people trace back where you came from, it doesn't make sense why you can do the things that you do and having the things that you have, except for the fact that you're willingly to search for more. You're willingly to keep to your words and doesn't let the original standard define you as a person. That's what I can say. And with the tune in the portal of your heart, that tells me that a lot of people in your life, like pretty much a lot of it, tells you this is what's the right thing to do, those are the right thing not to say, but I feel like you make your own rules. There's something about you that's very self-motivated, and something about you that feels very like the self-ownership is very strong. So I feel like oftentimes you're in environments, in the surroundings where those things make you doubtful about your potential, about yourself, so that you have to count on yourself endless times at this point, but never once I feel like you give up from getting to know who you are as a person. So I'm even surprised why you even here, pile number 1, because I feel like you're very self-assured and your confidence, but more than confidence, it's not confidence, it's the self-trust. Like you're very self-reliant, and you trust your judgment, and the more you do that, the more makes sense things in your life. And I think people, that is what makes it incredibly high value, that makes it priceless. Anyone would try to fake that for the rest of their life, or try to copy that, or try to be like that, but if it's not in them, that can be, it's something that you just have to train endlessly, and you have to born with the capacity of it first. And I feel like you're meant to, if you're going through life, right, let me just say this, like if you're going through certain things in life right now, or maybe in a past where things feel like it's storms after storms, and difficulty after difficulty, just know that you're meant to go through it, because you're strong enough to have to go through that. And I know it's far from being fair, but just know that the bigger the challenge, the bigger the purpose. And believe it or not, I feel like you do have some type of purpose to change your lineage, or to make an impact in this life, because you are like, people can feel your impact, people can feel how sure you are about the things that you do. And I think people are intimidated sometimes, by that, but that cannot get over and escape the fact that it is incredibly high value. It is very respectable, it's very respected. I feel like your spirits here kind of like, it's very, very incredibly respected. And with the rite of a passage in there, crossing threshold, that you're just meant to cross a bridge. You're meant to cross like somewhere else in life. You're meant to find something bigger, in this lifetime. And the fact that, no one could ever really swung your judgment, or, can't really make you doubt yourself. It's your biggest strength. And that's incredibly high value once again. So that's why we have keep believing in yourself. Let's take a look into more spread that we have in front of us. Okay, more stuff that we can see in here. This is even more convincing. We have the Six of Swords, the King of Cups, the Justice, and the Hanged Man. I love that Justice and the Hanged Man kind of like back to back. We have 11 and 12 in here. You're just like rich on perception, you know, with the Six of Swords and the King of Cups. What's very high value about you that like you're just seem so sure about yourself. It kind of reminds me of a Maddie from like Euphoria, you know, like 99% of life is like confidence. That's what she said, right? That's the kind of feeling I get here. But it's not the confidence like a loud confidence, you know, it's self-assuredness, you know, it's the confidence that you have naturally within you, that you know, so many people can doubt their own path and it looks even better than you, but you're never going to doubt why you are doing the things that you do. You have it all in you. You have the persistence and you have the patience to follow through with every single thing that you have in front of you, with every single targets that you have in front of you, and you have the willingness to wait for it. You have the willingness to switch your perception on it, but never once you're gonna doubt yourself when it comes to it, and that is incredibly powerful. That is incredibly high value. And especially with the King of Cups, again, you know, it's not the King of Wands it's not the King of Swords, it's not even the King of Pentacles. So it's not like you're far from stubborn. The fact that you don't need to shout about it makes it even more high value, makes it even more exceptional, even more incredible. Because like, how many people in this life truly that you met and like don't shout first and let the results speak for itself? And I feel like that's the case with you. You let everything speak for yourself. You let everything speak for yourself, and that is again incredibly high value. So people would definitely in quest of searching for you, you know, when it comes to finding the right judgment. There's something about you that feels that, you know, like you're just very easy to trust, you know, the type of person that people want to confide in, the type of person that people can bear their soul into. And the more people get to know you, the more they see how much of a high value that your reputation does nothing to compare to who you are as a person, because deep down there is just so much more about yourself that you kept to yourself. And again, like I said, you're just not the type of person who shouts everything out loud and who lets everything kind of unfold in the first place. And again, it's incredibly impressive, incredibly high value. Let's take a look deeper into this Justice card. You know, you're like the type of person who would just silent, you know, in the midst of fighting. And it's even like the time for fight, you know, everybody would lose their mind. Anyone would be in a certain situation, but you're not it. You're not a part of it. You know, you're kind of like, you can count me out when it comes to it. You can definitely count me out when it comes to those stuff. You're kind of the type of person who's busy and get lost in their dreams, get lost onto their perception, get lost into their world. I feel like you couldn't care less literally about what people do. It's very internal, you know. Looking at the upper cards here, we have the inner temple. So you're very, again, you know, like your biggest judge and your biggest audience is yourself. I feel like everything just turns inward. So this could be you could have a lot of retrogrades in your chart. That would mean the self-judgment and all of the particular movement coming from the inside. The particular pressure comes from the inside. You literally couldn't care less about what people said, and I think that's what makes you don't exactly have to announce every single thing of your life. Like, life is your stage and you're the one who stars in it, and you're the one who's gonna judge it. So I feel like, again, on a bottom line, you are incredibly high value because you're very self-assured, and you just sure about yourself. There's nothing else to say. You're just sure about yourself, and that is impressive. That's very high value. That would be all for this prediction. Thank you so much for being here, collective, and I will see you in another pile or another prediction. Thank you so much. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and bye for now. Hello there, pile number 2. You chose the 10 of Pentacles. So the high value people sees in you here. Next to it, we have deep replenishment, retreat, rest, be held, and we have protection. Call back your power, cut the cord, soul retrieval. I love that. You're the eternal strategist. There's something about you that thinks long term. Like, you're far from impulsive. You're very composed. That's what I get. You know, you're calm and collected. You're composed. You're not a type of person who's like panicking right away if something went wrong. You're just like, you're quick to recover. You're quick to, like, you're the type of person who people would just honor and respect. You can command a room without doing or saying anything. You're also like very wise and like old, something old soul about you. I'm sorry, like, I'm not saying you're old, but I feel like something in your soul feels like you're just a lot more mature than your age, for sure. You're a lot more mature than the people's mental age. So let's say even in a house you have like grandma, grandpa, and grandma, and grandpa, grandparents. Something about you just like it looks like your soul is older than them. And I know it's like, I don't know, you will take it as a compliment or not, but again, this is not about compliment reading, right? This is about high value, and it's incredibly high value of you to people see it. Just it's very fascinating, but yet also it's kind of, yeah, it's really fascinating to see someone with the, you could be like not exactly like old, let's say like you're not maybe like 50 yet, maybe you're not 50 yet, but something about your wisdom, you find a lot of comfort, you find a lot of safety in silence, you find a lot of safety in taking a rest. You're not the type of person who would work hard. You're not a hard worker, you're a smart worker. You know how to manage your time. You are good at time. You have a good time management. You have a good ability to work with your resources. You don't need the biggest, the most incredible, the largest. You don't need all of those stuff. You don't need all of the titles. You just know how to do with it. You just know how to earn it, which I think makes it incredibly, again, it's very high value. The Ten of Pentacles is the ultimate card if you want like a long-term security, family legacy and stuff. And it looks like you're just, like I said, the ultimate strategist. What makes a good strategist, not because they have a good strategy. And I feel like not a lot of people said a lot of things about that. A good strategy, just know what to do with the strategy they're working on. Not because the title said they're a good strategist. Strategy is really perceptive. It's incredibly flawed. That's what makes strategy. That the fact that it is incredibly flawed. The fact that it's changeable. The fact that everything is circumstantial. And for some reason, you're able to adapt with every single part of it. And that's what makes you a very incredible strategist. You can work with anything and everything and still come out best. And you don't need to you don't need big preparation. So for example, people would want like the biggest bags, like the most expensive necklace, or the most incredible source of like education, like the most famous person to be next to them, the largest following Instagram. Like you don't need all of the stuff. The fact that your name came out when it comes to certain conversation, and your name came out in a certain circle, I feel like that's value. It's very high value. It's something that you need to be born literally with, and that's what we have for this spread. Let's take a look into the few more cards we have in front of us to see what's high value of you. Okay, now this is just more convincing even more. We have the King of Wands. Yes, so this pile, you have a certain diva-ness about you. We're gonna get to that a bit later. We have the Five of Pentacles, the Queen of Pentacles, and the Wheel of Fortune. People see you as through and through, as if like the universe just blessing your path, which probably it's not how you want to, describe it, but I don't think you're the type of person who would sweat what people want to say about you. This is a strong function. We have the Ten of Pentacles, the Queen of Pentacles, and the Five of Pentacles. So you have a lot of pentacles in your card. You have a lot of sureness and groundedness about you. You're incredibly grounded and down to earth, your feet on the ground, head on the clouds. You know your dreams, you know your targets, but you're being reasonable about it. And I think that constant reality check without only like a certain mindless dreaming, but actually act on it. Like I said, like you don't need the best stuff. You don't need the best resources. The fact that you can always work with it. Again, there's a lot of probably like rumors here about you that like you're kind of just had it lucky. But like if people lucky like every single day of their life, if every single part of their life, is it even luck to say luck just like came once or twice every year, and that's considered rare. Like it's coming every now and then. It's not continuously. It's discipline that is continuously. And I feel like there's something about you that you have the groundedness, but also you have the diva-ness about you. And what I mean by that is like you have talent. You can back it up. You can back up your talent. So you're not only talk big, but also you are able to follow up with it. But you're not sweating about it. Five of Pentacles is the card of abandonment, the card for wrong time to be self-employed. But next to it, we have the Queen of Pentacles. You don't need a follower. You don't need a leader. You don't need an instruction. You don't need a big, large system to back you up. But for some reason, you're always able to top it off. You're always able to come out on top, which again, incredibly high value. People definitely would want to have you in their life, but I don't think you want to be a part of anyone's life, which is, I'm sorry for laughing, but I feel like you could also laugh with me right now. Who knows about it? But I feel like there's something about it that you're just kind of like, yeah, thank you so much. Like, you're kind of very grounded, like you're very private. Yeah, private is definitely more a word for this. I feel like you're very private, and with the protection card, call back your power, cut the cord, soul retrieval. You're like the type of person that people wanted to have on their grasp, but for some reason always like, always jumping out of the pool. And it's incredibly, I feel like a lot of people hold grudge, to you, like, because they can't have you in their life, which, well, sucks for them, I guess, but not for you, for sure. You realize quite early and understand quite early that, like, having more volume in your life just kind of make things a lot more complicated. That's probably what you learn most. That's why we have the Five of Pentacles. You've gone through, I think, a lot of like transformation and changes at this point in time, but I feel like there is nothing that literally could stop you from really achieving what you deserve, what you think you deserve, with the Five of Pentacles. It's more kind of like the Five of Pentacles transition to the Queen of Pentacles, like it's more kind of like, I definitely need more people more than myself, but joke's on you, I'm not gonna sweat it out. At least I got myself, so it's more kind of like you've experienced quite like a lot of betrayal maybe in this life, or a lot of abandonment coming from people, but I think that's what makes you more appreciative of yourself, and that eventually just advancing your value, like incredibly high value. The fact that you can stand by yourself and incredibly just laid back about it. Eternal strategies, as I mentioned before. That would be all for this file. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed it. I will see you in the next prediction, and hope you have a good day. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and yeah, bye for now. Hello there, pal. Number 3, you chose the King of Pentacles. So this would be the high value people see in you. We have Pillar of Light, your vibration is rising, you are the Oracle. And we have Pleiades, double mission, channeling, uplifting humanity. I don't know if you noticed, but both cards have people literally just like rising, like both people kind of like flying, on the astral form in here. And the middle of it, we have the King of Pentacles. You're like a gradual builder, you might be coming out of nowhere. What's high value about you is like no one can stop you. And I think that is that's like simple, but that just can recap the whole reading. And I hope you stay for longer, but I feel like those are the best way to describe it. No one can stop you because you don't want to stop. Simply just that. You are a gradual builder. Like I said, you're not always going to be like number one. I don't think in your life you're always kind of like, there is a point where you're number 1 and then you're number 10, and like you're not always all about the titling and stuff, but something about you're always refining, you're always improving, you're always topping the last version of you. So it's more like, if we talk about it in ranks, it's more kind of like 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, so it's more kind of like you're always gradually getting better, but you're not always crowned number 1, if that makes sense here. So you're not always the loudest at the room, you're not always the person that they like breaking the records, or kind of the type of person that they have for like a record holder or something like that. But I feel like you're constantly advancing, and you are genuinely useful of yourself and the people around you. You're actually creating something. Sometimes that people have a lot of achievements, have a lot of stuff, but like people will forget about it, or like in like 3 years people forget about it because there's no impact, right? Now you're the different one. You're the impactful one. There is something about you that like you're not always the loudest in the room, but your impact is practically like a domino. It's like falling into people's life. Everybody will remember you. Everybody will remember you without having to step onto the stage, which is, again, like I said, this is a very rare type of high valueness. Like it's very rare to find in a person that like everybody will know you, but the record doesn't exactly hold your name, because you play on your own standard. There's something, that's why I mentioned gradual builder. Something about builder. Why the fuck would you build something that's already exist, right? You build something new. Something about you, just like you make your own criteria, you make your own standard, and you're the only player. So people don't exactly have any option other than to remember you. pal 3. So I feel like you already know about this, so why you're here? And I'm sorry, I don't want to kick you out, but I'm just saying, okay? I'm just saying, there's something about it that like you have a mission on this earth. You have a mission in your life. It doesn't even have to be that big. Like even in your crowds, like in your work, for example, or in your family, you know you're meant to build something. You know you're meant to have a certain mission. You know you're meant to do this purpose in this environment, in these circumstances, and you're willing to work for it. You're willing to gradually build. And there's something about you also that like you're not satisfied with reaching a certain place. That's why I mentioned you're not stepping into like rank 1 or number 1. Like you're not exactly playing by that by that rule in here. The fact that who I am today should be better than who am I yesterday, So it's not about achievement. It's simply about refinement. It's simply about improving. It's simply about growth. It's incredible to see that. And you're very impactful. You should know that. You're very useful and very impactful, and you carry a certain like obligation and like purpose and direction in this lifetime. And I think you know about that. So let's take a look into more cards here, what people see high value of you. Okay, for the next one, look at that. Look at that. We have the Queen of Cups. We have the 10 of Wands, the Chariot, and the Hierophant card. That's what's interesting. We're ending in the Hierophant card. So you're impactful to the society. You're impactful to the new belief and new dogma. Something about your regulation. Something about that you built. It will last. It's the type of people that will be known after they're dead. And I'm sorry, I'm not praying for you to be dead just yet. No. But it's like, you get what I'm saying, right? It's like when you leave the room, people talk about you even more. So because you're that iconic, okay? So because you're that iconic and you're that legendary, we have the Queen of Cups over there. The Queen of Cups, next to it, we have the 10 of Wands. You have a very heavy moral obligation. Something about moral, something about internal, and something very personal. You carry that baggages every single day. People would definitely describe your life as probably far from easy, but it's not hard either. It's just that there's something about your attitude, or there's something about the rough edges of you that kind of like you had it a little more complicated than the rest of us, and people can see your baggage. I feel like people can understand your baggage. So the high value part of it is when we shift to the Chariot card, the fact that with every single challenges, with every single adversity, people grow through adversity, right? For every single challenges, for every single stumble that you have, you find yourself get the fuck up and deal with it. Like what I see here, you have a lot of balls. Like you have a big balls literally to like deal with it. And also we have the Hierophant card in here, so it's deeply impactful. You inspire so many people. I think you inspire themselves to be better, which probably not what people would describe it if they are being honest with themselves. They feel like they're competing, but the fact that you're the OG one, you're the blueprint one, and you're the one who light the fire in people's life, that's what we see, and that's incredibly high value. Even though, with the Hierophant there, because you challenge the status quo, people would definitely not admit it right away. And I'm so sorry, people don't give credit. Have you noticed, I mentioned before that your name is gonna get talked louder after you exit the room. That would mean people don't have the balls to compliment you like in front of you, but I don't think you care about it anyway. Probably from your perspective, you're just trying to do better and just improve and grow in life and trying to be your best version every single day. That's probably how you kind of see it, from your perspective in here. But again, I feel like there is something very like full of commitment about you. There is something very extra and extremely committed. Like I said before, you're taking your life seriously, but not in an intense like serious way, but you actually realize that if I don't have any purpose or impactful, like I'm just gonna be that, and if it's not even legacy that you're thinking of, that's a different category. It would be like pile 2, when we talk about legacy and etc. This pile is all about kind of like you would feel that there's something about you that like you always chase the better thing, you always chase the better version, the better stuff, the incredible, more incredible, getting more and more about yourself, without having to exceeding everybody's expectation or rules or limit. which is again incredibly high value of you. And I will see you in the next prediction. Thank you so much for being here. I hope this resonates in a way. Have a very lovely day, and bye for now. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Hello there, pile 4. You chose the Star card, and next to it we have Anna, Great Matter of Jesus. It said seeding the light, laying foundation, and divine plan. We also have you're already doing it. Stop overthinking, keep facing your true north. Okay. Alright, okay, this is all about originality. So this is all of my superstars, super divas, probably work in the entertainment piles. Something very high value about you is your authenticity. Something that is highly valuable of you is your, I would say, it's not impact, but it's, you're like a trendsetter. You know, you're like a trendsetter that had to walk and take a leap firsthand, and everybody would just like resent you for it, the fact that you take that first step. But in reality, like, everybody's following your step, you know? You're kind of like the path opener. Something high value about you is that you're never afraid of your own reflection. You're never afraid of your own shadow. You're never afraid of the unknown. You are fearless. I think that's the word here. You are fearless and unstoppable. Pal 4. This collective has a long-term plan. Like, the universe has a long-term plan for you, and a lot of your challenge is to trust it. A lot of your challenge is to put your faith and belief into the system. Faith and belief to that you carry there is a reason why you're being put into a certain path, and that's why we have facing your true north. As you can see, look at the wording in here. We have divine plan, laying foundation on the Grand Matter of Jesus one, and the second one we have keep pace facing your true north. True north in astrology is about your destiny. It's about something that you are meant to have. It's about something that you're meant to live, something that you're meant to experience, and practically what will embody, kind of like a step closer towards your foreseeable future stuff, like the person you're meant to be, the higher calling. There is something about you that I would say, like, people definitely understand it as well, that it's far from easy. And the easiness itself is that you have to experience a lot of periods, a lot of periods of doubts, of which you're not always showcased to people. But I would say you've experienced a lot of that doubt because, well, it's scary, to be different. It's scary to be on your own. After you are long enough at that, you would understand that this difference is meant for something, because there is something about you also that you're not doing this because you're attention seeking, like, you're doing this because, like, this is practically how my energy is built on, how my energy is orchestrated by the universe. So I feel like what's high value about it is that you kept having trust on the on the unknown. You kept having trust on what people can understand and see just yet. And the fact that I feel like you're always willingly and with everything you got trying to help people that also experience and having the same life story as you, which is, the trendsetter one, the different one. You're always able to kind of empower them. You're very, there's a lot of energy about empowerment. I'm not surprised if we're gonna have like the devil energy or like the moon energy here, because I feel like there is something that's quite unforeseen, and you're meant to be an inspiration to so many people. You're meant to feel this different. You're meant to have, like, the universe has a long-term plan for you, and it's the high valueness that people can exactly put their fingers onto, because energetically they can feel that you're very authentic and you genuinely have a good intention to people, which always, there's always some crowds that misdirect those intentions, which is fine by you anyway, because the fact that you're also sometimes scared, to be in this like shadow realm, I guess. So that's what we have. Let's take a look further into a few more cards. Okay, for the next few cards, we have, again, look at this. We have the Six of Pentacles, Queen of Swords, Page of Wands, and Page of Pentacles. There's a lot of beginner's mind energy. And there's something high value about you, that you're always going to be authentic and truthful to yourself. You're not here to deceive anyone. So let's say if you do good things because it is what should be done, and it is exactly what you want to do. There's a lot of transparency. There is a lot of truthfulness about you. So it's like you're like the type of people that people wish they could hate on, but they just can't, which kind of like sucks for them, but what we see here with the Six of Pentacles, yeah, with the Six of Pentacles, like there's a sense of balance in you. You're a fair person, you know. So you're very, like, you have a strong and high integrity, which not all people has. Because you know how it feels to be stripped away by from your identity, or stripped away from molding yourself to what people's expectation. I feel like in the past you have gone through that. That's why we have like the True North. It's always about the higher calling, like I said. And the Star card has always had the healing tendency, and the ruling is Aquarius, so it's kind of almost always ahead of people, ahead of time, and the type of stuff that people just can't understand yet anyway. And you are so incredibly fair that you would give that shot to yourself. You would give yourself a chance to really prove it, because the next card we have the Queen of Swords. So and that one makes it high value. Some people, let's say, accepted a job because the pay is high, like the salary is high. Some people accept a job because it's what the rational thing would do. Some people accept a job because of the accommodation that comes with it. Some people accept a job because of the recommendation they got. Some people accept a job because they see the future would be bright if they chose that path. But you, not about you. You're the exception one. You accept a job because your calling is there. You're accepting a job because you believe that there is something that you would do in there, even though you can understand just yet. But because you're fair and because you're honest, you're that real and authentic with yourself, you would give yourself a chance to walk through it, go down the path. And that's what leads us into the Page of Wands and the Page of Pentacles. It's probably earning you less money, probably earning you less of security, probably earning you a lot of less than most of the stuff. But you give yourself that chance because you don't want to lie to yourself. This is incredible, right? Because you don't want to lie to yourself, because you don't want to spend your lifetime wondering what could have been. And I think that's like the qualities of like the Star as what you chose in this specific pile that people don't understand. It's not about like the willingness of wanting to be the different one. You don't do that by choice. You're doing that because there is something that you need to seek in there. There is a purpose in there. And again, with the Six of Pentacles, is the balance gift, the balance act of giving and receiving. And you are, because you're that honest, because you're that transparent with yourself, you give yourself, say, about like 8 months. Let's try this one. If it doesn't work, then at the very least, I'm not going to wonder about that anymore. At least I'm not going to think about that anymore. There's a lot of sense of adventure. You're very adventurous, actually, deep down. Even though it's at first kind of like concealed, by, it looks like from the outside you might be always sure about yourself. But what people don't realize and don't see is that it's not coming from sureness. It's actually coming from belief and faith that there is something bigger that I just can't understand yet anyway. So that's what's high value about you. Energetically, you're like it. Everybody will have their head turned on when they see you. That's for sure. That's what we have here. Thank you so much for being here. I'll see you in the next one, and I'll catch you in the next prediction. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and bye for now.